Hello again, Lesage Renegade here, and today I want to do something a little special. Today I want to answer some questions that I had for some of my favorite creators, and questions that I've heard people ask. So today is an FAQ day, and without further ado, I'm going to read some of that I made on the list, and we're going to see how many we can get through in this video. Let's see. This has been an idea that's been running through my mind for years now. In fact, I went and created another channel. We just stayed there. I did everything, created a Facebook page and everything, but I just never did anything about it. But it took a friend to let me know about the 30 Days Creators Challenge for me to finally pull the trigger. I felt that would be a good challenge for me to do videos for 30 days, and so far it has been a great challenge. So what inspired me is other creators and people that I had the chance to meet and I was lucky enough to speak to, that told me that they were going through something similar and we should join this challenge together. And that is also why this channel is about self-improvement, because I know what it's like to want to improve. I know what it's like to have an idea and sit on it, but trust me, just go ahead and pull that trigger and you'll be great. Let's see what question number 2 is. That's an interesting question. I'm actually not sure how I got into fitness, because from a very young age, I've always been a very active child, running around, scraping my knees, playing soccer, and then I did track and field in school, never quite joined any teams, did combat sports. And I feel like that sort of built a foundation for me. And I've always been a curious child as well. And I've always sought out challenges. And I feel like the combination of that foundation of fitness, the seeking of challenges, and the curiosity sort of came together and led to personal development. And the more I asked questions, the more I started realizing that fitness and personal development go hand in hand, because there's a lot of things in exercising, in working out, that are very mental, that require you to grow as a person as well as physically. Well, I'm going to start with an easy one. Fitness is part of my interest. Learning things is part of my interest, and I feel like they go hand in hand. The work I do, which is in the creative industry, is also part of my interest. So I find myself having hobbies that are related to either fitness or the work I do. So that already makes it easy for me. So I don't have to create so much separation. Now, when it comes to balancing fitness and work, I know that a healthy body creates a healthy mind. And fitness for me is about mental health as well. Because if you've ever been somebody who's fit and you stop working out, it takes it all on your mind, and you realize you notice the difference when you're not working out versus when you work out. Like, your mind is a lot clearer. And there's something about fitness, it just spikes your dopamine. Actually, studies show that. And if you've been a runner, if you're a runner like me, you know that, well, I used to hate running, but the one thing, even the runs I hate, at the end of those runs, I have a dopamine spike. And that really helps my mental, and it helps me deal with stress, which, of course, we all know work comes with some form of stress. So that's how I balance it. I make them work together, but I'm also lucky because a lot of these things are things that I already enjoy. So I don't have to seek out other interests that are conflicting with what I have. I guess that's how, for me, it is. Most of my interests sort of are very complementary. Truth be told, that is one place. Truth be told, that's one place where I'm still working. It's a work in progress. Let's put it that way. It's a work in progress. But what I'm trying to do is to block out time by activity on what I'm going to do and try to stick to those time as close as I can stick to them. Which means, and by blocking up time, I also block time for my phone. Meaning, I say, okay, between this time and this time, I'm going to scroll my phone and respond to messages. Between this time, and when you can measure what you're doing, that will make you more productive, and that will make it easier for you to manage, because you only have so much time during the day. And creating those blocks helps. And the other thing that has helped me is that I put some of the things that I might not be able to do at the end of the day, I put them at the beginning of the day. So I wake up early in the morning, get my fitness out of the way. And I do that, then I know that's out of the way. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to worry about that. That's where I'm at so far, and I'm still working on that. Next question. It's a tough one. Well, I, for once, I'm really bad at asking for help. But I also know that there's many people that have been through this and have made it out of it. And if you're going through something yourself, let me address that. Just know you're not alone. Other people are going through it. Sometimes knowing that we're not alone going through something gives us a little bit of hope, knowing that, hey, somebody else survived this. So I might survive it too. And all you need is that little bit of hope, anything you can hold on to. And for me, is the idea that other people have been through it, and the idea that they made it through, that allows me to just wait and just hold on. But that doesn't mean that when I'm holding on, I try to ignore what's going on or anything like that. I sit in that feeling. I acknowledge what I'm feeling because it is real to me. It is happening to me in that moment. But then I also try and do my best to think back to positive days, to times when I was in a better place. And sometimes this is not always possible. And the best thing I can say is, if you're finding it hard to do any of those, when you're unmotivated and you might be depressed, you should go seek help. You should go seek professional help. Don't be ashamed. Do that because you're worth it. Well, actually for both, I think you need to give it time. You need to give time to recover. You need to give time for when you get injured. So the best way to deal with injury is not get injured. But unfortunately, every one of us at some point will get injured. And that is probably one of the worst thing that can happen to somebody who's been very active. And it's not the injury, actually, that's the problem. The problem is the mental toll of knowing how much progress you've made and understanding that by not continuing to do the thing, you're going to lose that progress. And it's that fight that you have where you want to keep going, but you know you shouldn't. That is actually the biggest thing one needs to pay attention to. You need to give yourself time to recover, because if you do not give yourself time to recover, what ends up happening is you're going to make that injury even worse, which means that you're going to be out of commission for even longer. But I know it is tough because it's a mental thing. Like the first time I got injured, when I was running, I was making good progress, and then I got injured. It's amazing how much harder it is to just sit and let your injury heal. Now, so there's two phases in workout. There's the stimulation phase and there's the adaptation phase. The stimulation phase is when you're in the gym, when you're running, when you're doing that, you're stimulating something. The adaptation phase is when you're recovering, and that is usually more time than the stimulation phase. And that's why for me, I get in the gym and I try to get out of there as quickly as I can so I can start my recovery. Well, as we discussed yesterday, I spoke to you about atomic habits, right? That's one of the ways that will help you stay consistent. But as far as motivation is concerned, my belief is that if you only rely on motivation to do what you need to do, then you'll never be consistent, because there's many factors that come into being motivated, right? Your emotional state, your mental state, and all that. However, is understanding the why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Is what is going to keep you consistent. At least that's what's been true for me. Knowing, why am I doing this? I'm a healthy person. I want to live longer. I want to move around easily. And because I identify as a healthy person, I'm going to make choices that keep me healthier longer. And that is what keeps me going. That is what keeps me going. If you have a good why for what you do, whatever that is, then it's a no-brainer. You wake up in the morning and you have to make a decision. Do you want to continue being a healthy person or no? If the answer is yes, then whether you're motivated or not, just go for it. In fact, let me tell you this. Most of the time, the mornings when I wake up and I'm like, I don't want to go to the gym, or I don't want to go run, or I don't want to do this, those days are the days when I have the best workouts. And anybody who's been there can attest to this. But guess what? When it happens again, I still feel like I don't want to do it. In the moment, it doesn't feel like you're going to have the best workout. And then you go have a best workout, you're like, oh my goodness. But for some reason, I'll forget it the next time again. So it's an ongoing process. But the biggest thing is having your why in check. Why are you doing this? And it's got to be for you. Your why is your why. You cannot do this for somebody else. It's for you.